Everyone knows what a bear is, right? Like this cute little guy here, or this scary looking one. But did you know that the word bear has other meanings? Let's take a look at 6 other uses for the word bear. You know when you haven't seen a friend that you're really close with in a long time, maybe because of a certain pandemic. Then the first time you meet, it's amazing. You just run to each other and you give each other this big, tight hug. That's what we call a bear hug. So in this case, when you give someone a bear hug, the word bear is being used as an adjective, not a noun anymore, like when you talk about the animal. Now the noun here is hug, so it's a bear hug. You may also hear people say sentences like this. Oh, this is too much to bear. Or I can't bear to see you that way. Now, in this case, the word bear is being used as a verb. And this is only the first meaning of the word bear as a verb, the most common one. And it actually means to accept, or is a synonym for stand. You may have heard, I can't stand seeing you this way. You could say, I can't bear seeing you this way. In fact, you could use the word bear followed by an ing verb, like in this sentence, or you could say, I can't bear to see you that way. It could also be followed by an infinitive. But commonly, we use it to talk about things that are acceptable, or usually in the negative, we say that they are not acceptable. That's why it's often used with the modal verb can't. So in the sentence I said before, this is too much to bear, or I can't bear this. I can't accept it, I can't stand it, it's too much for me. Now here's a sentence you might hear in more formal situations. For example, someone might say, they had to bear all of the costs of her education. In this case, it means they were responsible for all of her education costs. It's often used with words like cost, responsibility, or even a burden. Burden in the meaning of a lot of responsibilities. So for example, you may hear somebody say, she has a heavy burden to bear. Now, it's not physically carrying or holding that burden, it's more about responsibility on her shoulders. So bear, in this case, has the meaning of being responsible for something or to have a responsibility. Another interesting way you may hear the word bear being used as a verb is like this. Their new album doesn't bear comparison with their first one. What that means is that the new album is not good enough to be compared with the first one. It's not worthy of it. So we use it with different words like this. You might also use it to say that something doesn't bear repeating. For example, oh, her plan is terrible. It doesn't even bear repeating it. So her plan is so bad that it's not worth repeating it to you. It's not good enough to be repeated. We also sometimes use it with the verb think. Come on, he's not worth your time. He doesn't even bear thinking about. Bear in the sense of worthy of. So I could say that this man came into the room bearing a huge box. Now in this case, it's the meaning of carry, actually carrying while you're moving normally. Now, it's not incredibly common in everyday speech because it has become a bit old-fashioned and it's more formal. But you may see this verb being used in books that were written a long time ago or books about stories written a long time ago. Now, there's also an expression we often use when you go to a party or you go to somebody's house and you bring a lot of drinks or you bring them a gift. You might hear somebody say, I come bearing gifts. That's the idea of bear as carry. And for our final meaning for this video, you might hear somebody say, oh, she can't bear any children. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that she can't stand them. She hates children. It might mean that she can't have babies. she cannot give birth to them, or she can't get pregnant. So the meaning of bear in this case is to give birth. You may also use a similar meaning for plants. So you could say, I have an apple tree in my backyard, but it doesn't bear any fruit. I have this tree, but I never see any fruit come out of it. It's not able to give fruit. So it's that idea of being able to create life or give birth or have fruit. So there you have it. Those were 6 other meanings to the word bear that are not this one. So we learned that the word bear can be an adjective or even a verb in several different situations. In fact, these are not the only meanings for the word bear. I just selected the ones that you're more likely to hear or encounter. If you're curious about the other meanings or you want to see more examples, I suggest you take a look at the entry for bear in the Oxford Learners Dictionaries. I'm going to link it in the description right here. If there are other similar words that you'd like me to talk about in the next video, please leave me a comment with your suggestion below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to get more videos in the future like this one.